What's up, YouTube? So I was thinking to myself just how damaging and just downright horrible calling someone an incel is. And then thinking about how even the creation and environment molding of what makes an incel is really horrible as well. Because, obviously an incel is somebody who is not selected sexually, not selected in the relationship market, in the dating market, in the marriage market. And I would say 85% of it, excuse me, 85% of it is not his fault. And I say his because most women are not incels. Very rare for a woman to be an incel. Even very overweight women, uh, get sexual dating, marriage partners, which is totally imbalanced, as we all should know. But you think about how the environment shapes something like that. And I would say 85% of it is not his fault. It's based on genetics, based on your facial structure, based on your height, in some cases based on your ethnicity, right? Unfortunately. And this is what the black pill got right, although on a spectrum, red pill terminology and ideology kind of coincides. I mean, I shouldn't say kind of. It definitely coincides with black pill idea. I mean, it's just, the red pill is just the truth. Unfortunately, the black pill is the shadow of the truth. It takes the truth and then it makes it, nihilistic, which is not necessarily the truth in and of itself, because the truth is there are exceptions, and the truth is that love can overcome, physical, genetic, environmental setbacks for men. Again, I'm talking about men. We all know there's an imbalance. We all know that women have they're born into the candy store. Men are on the outside looking in, wishing they could get inside the candy store. Women have access to all the candy in the candy store, and particularly if she's, better looking. Why this is genetically, whatever, we could, talk about that. But, I was just thinking about how the genetics of an incel and the environment, how one is created, is really horrible if you think about it, because it has a lot to do with self-esteem. It has a lot to do with your self-image and your worldview, your subjective worldview, in the sense that how the world views you subjectively. And it has to do with how you look. And I was going about my daily activities, my daily errands and things like that. And I realized that even I subconsciously put women and men, particularly women, because I'm a heterosexual, right? I put them in categories based on their looks. If there's an attractive woman around, I notice that I act different. I notice that, something within me, there's a heightened sense of awareness that this woman is attractive. I think that's in every guy, and even in women. Women know when other women are attractive, and guys know when other guys are attractive. And it's true. It's a studied science that attractive people have better lives. They're happier. They get more gifts. They get things for free. It's a weird nature. I wouldn't say natural per se, but nature thing. And it's very unfair, right? But if you think about how that's, what a guy has to go through, because with men we like things sorted out. We want to, if there's a problem, we want to find a solution. We don't like to dwell in drama. We don't like to dwell in problems and issues. We like to get out of them, which is why depression is not a natural state really for anybody to be in, for humans to be in, but particularly for men, because women tend to gravitate towards drama. There's something about drama and problems and issues that women, a lot of women, I won't say all women, but a lot of women, unfortunately, there's something within them that needs drama sometimes, and they create drama, and you don't really want to be around that type of woman. So I shouldn't say it's all women, but I would say that women in general are more prone to, you know, certain types of drama. So I say that to say that men like things figured out. We don't like loose ends. We don't like question marks. We don't like things that are uncertain. And I think humans in general don't like things that are uncertain, right? But when it comes to dating dynamics and sexual dynamics, a lot of times women are actually attracted to things that are uncertain. You know, the mysterious man, and is he this, is he that, and there's something about the mystery box man that women, it turns them on. But men are not like that. We just want things to be simple. We want things to be understandable. We want things to be uncomplicated. Men are very reasonable this way. So when you have a scenario where you don't know how, where you shape up in the opposite sex, where you're at. And let me just say this too. Women a lot of times don't tell you that you're unattractive or even that you are attractive. But if you are attractive, they tend to let you know more easily. Right? They tend to let you know more smoothly, that you just get an indication. If you're not attractive, they tend to not tell you, so you kind of don't know. So there's a question, there's kind of an uncertainty there. But with a lot of men, they just know. They're like, there's no way. I've tried, it's not working. Women have told me this and that about myself. I've been rejected and rejected and rejected. And these guys often end up in deep depression, and they end up in kind of the black pill abyss, I should say, because the more you think about how unattractive you are, the more you become more unattractive, and then it becomes part of your personality, and it's become kind of obsessive. Which is why I always say guys need hobbies, guys need to do something, guys need to go out and make themselves feel happy with something outside of pursuing women, outside of sex, outside of romance and relationships and thinking about all that kind of stuff. Take your mind off it and find something else to do, right? Don't dwell on it. Don't just sit there and stew over it, because then you're just going to get in a pit of depression and despair. But we should be aware that guys do go through this, and guys, it's just not even close to being the same, because a lot of times our self-esteem, it makes us feel good when people are attracted to us. It makes us feel good when people hit on us, and it rarely happens for most guys. Right? Rarely happens for most guys. Most guys don't get compliments, and women don't understand that. Women don't understand, they just assume that, oh, well, everybody gets compliments. I had a woman tell me that. I was talking to her a few months ago. I think it was a few months ago. And she said, oh, everybody gets compliments. And I'm like, hold up, pump the brakes. No. Many men go most of their lives and get no compliments. Get no sexual advances, get no romantic advances, whereas women probably get them daily, and maybe not verbally, overtly, but they get it subconsciously. They can tell. Guys look at them different. They can tell when guys give away subtle body language cues that they're attracted to women. Certain things they do, certain behaviors, we treat attractive women differently, and they pick up on that, and they know that, and it becomes a part of their narcissism and part of their ego. But guys don't get that, and in fact, a lot of times we get the opposite of that. We get insulted, made fun of, laughed at, derision, right? Mocked. And these are the same people, or I should say, these are the same females who want to claim that they're all about equality, But it's only equality when it really benefits them in the whole feminist context, right? Oh, I'm a feminist. I care about gender equality. I care about men's issues too. No, you don't. They don't. It's a load of crap. It's hypocrisy. It's lying, right? They don't care about men's issues. And I'm not saying men should be charity cases per se. I'm not saying men should, women should give men pity sex or something. That's not what I'm saying at all either necessarily. It's just that a lot of people, particularly a lot of women, take it for granted that people are attracted to them and they have unlimited access to sex and unlimited access to relationships. And yes, it ruins them, and we talk a lot about that in the red pill community. It ruins women. It makes them narcissists, it makes them egomaniacs, etc. Makes them jaded. It makes them learn how to be manipulative, lie about their body count, lie about this, lie about that, right? And in a way, they feel they have to, and it's understandable why they feel they have to, because they're covering up. They don't want to be judged, right? But we've talked about that subject until the cows come home. That's we all know that it's a double standard, and it's there for a reason, because guys want pure women for long-term relationships. And it's a catch-22 because guys want sex too, but the problem is that really that's not okay. And I'm not one of these red pill guys that doubles down on that double standard, right? I don't buy into that double standard. I think that men shouldn't sleep around either. I don't think men or women should sleep around. I think sex should be within a loving relationship. If not marriage, although marriage is an institution that's messed up by the state, et cetera, right? So, but there is a discrepancy. There is a discrepancy, in the environment that creates an incel. And this discrepancy is a cold reality. It's a harsh, unforgiving, cold reality when a guy is not accepted physically, and it has to do with just your genetics. It's luck of the draw. Are you good looking enough in your face? Are you good looking enough in your height? And then also, a guy can change his financial status. He can change his body structure. He can work out, right? And these things can help. And then when you start to delve into why those things work, you start to see that, female nature is very shallow. These are the same people who, rage against the patriarchy, rage against gender inequality, this, that, and the third. But they're the ones who are extremely shallow when it comes to judging men. They treat us like tools. They treat us like a means to an end. And they use us for sex. I've said this in the past. Women use men for sex. Believe it or not, women use men for sex. They always try to cry and bemoan how men only want sex from them and they're just sex objects and blah, blah, blah. But they don't look at their own hypocrisy. They don't look at their own behavior. They use men for sex just like men use them for sex. And a lot of their using men for sex is even worse because they're emotionally attached to sex, so they have to create that emotional attraction first. So it's like they bait men into being emotional, because when a man loves a woman, he becomes emotional, and men don't function very well emotionally. It's which is why love and marriage and a long-term relationship is actually a safeguard for men in that sense, because it doesn't allow the man to be hurt. Because when a man invests emotions, and I've said this before on my channel, when a woman invests emotions, she can turn it on and off, because women are emotional naturally. A man, it's harder for him to turn it on and off, because men are more rational, men are more mentally orientated, men are more intellectually orientated. So when we do get into our emotions, it's hard for us to turn it off. It's like a faucet that we can't stop, which is why a lot of guys quote unquote get obsessed with women or whatever, and and the girl's like, oh, I've already moved on because you monkey branched onto another dude that you had a backup of. What was it, Tom Brady's wife, Gisele Bundchen or whatever, already had a dude within a couple of weeks after they had a divorce, already had a boyfriend, a guy that was already in her circle, one of these orbiter guys. And there's plenty of guys out there who are ready to take your spot if you drop off with your girlfriend, and women know that, and they keep guys in this. They know exactly what they're doing, right? With men, it's not the same. And women know this. Men have to work hard for sex. They have to work hard for a girlfriend. It's not just about looks. Yes, it's about looks, but it's also about finances. It's also about your character. It's also about, how often you hit the gym, etc. It's hard freaking work. Whereas women, all they got to do is buy some makeup, and buy a tight shirt, right, to make their tits look bigger. Buy some tight jeans to make their ass look bigger. Like, that's it. That's all they got to do, and then walk outside. That's it. And then pick and choose which guy from the 50 guys who hit on them that week. That's all they got to do. And they don't care. They don't care that men get rejected. They don't care that men are hurt. They don't care that men never get compliments. They don't care that men go years without having a date. Men go years without having sex. Men go years without a girlfriend or a long-term partner. They don't care. But these are the same ones who act like, oh yeah, women are oppressed. We're all about gender equality and feminism, right? I'm just saying, man, it's when you look at it from a perspective of a guy who gets rejected a lot, from these, so-called incel perspective, the incel community or whatever. I don't even know if there is a community of incels, but I think I've heard that term before. But there's guys out here who are just, who've never been kissed, never had a girlfriend, never had sex. And imagine how lonely they are. There's a whole, I don't know if I use the word system, but there's a whole environment, or there's a whole experience that they've never experienced in life. A girl being attracted to you, having a girlfriend, kissing a girl, having sex with a girl, long-term relationship with a girl. They've never experienced any of that. There's, it's like people tell you how great ice cream is. Oh, ice cream is so great. There's a million love songs out there. And everybody loves love songs. Oh, love songs, yeah. Oh, romantic movies, love movies. And then porn is just like gratuitously shoving it in your face. Like, hey, look, we're hot, we're having sex, and you're not. I mean, how shitty is that? A million great love songs throughout the history of the world. Love-inspired poems, love-inspired paintings, love-inspired buildings, you name it. And they have no idea what any of that is about, because genetically it just didn't happen for them, right? I mean, imagine how lonely these guys are. Imagine how dejected and depressed and sad they are. And this is why I say, like, you gotta, if you fall into that category, but even if you don't, even if you're just, maybe you've had girlfriends in the past, like, like me, maybe you've had sex in the past, like me, maybe you've, had dry spells, and you know what it is too, but also you're, these modern women, you can't find a good one, like where I'm at. It's just like, you got to find a way to make yourself happy. But we also should have empathy as humans, that these people are who are sharing our earth, who deserve love, because I think all humans deserve love, just in general, just for being human. I think it's the devil who wants to make everybody a slave and make everybody work for everything, and it's God who wants to give good free gifts. And that's out of love. But because people have lost sight of God and are really in their soul and environment or whatever are enslaved to the devil, they think they have to work for everything, and they have this animalistic viewpoint of love, like, oh, I gotta compete, I gotta go be a badass, I gotta do this, I gotta make a bunch of money, I gotta be this manly man and grow a beard and take steroids and all this stuff that guys are clamoring after, right? All this stuff that guys are just trying so hard to do, like, oh, I gotta make, get a cooler car and wear better clothes, and it's like it just sucks your time, it sucks your energy, and it's just like all this for a woman who just has just been sleeping around for the last 10 years, who just wakes up and she's just, oh yeah, it's just choose the 8 guys in my phone who are texting me which one I want to have sex with and which one I want to be my boyfriend. Like, that's their life. And it's just like, no wonder women walk around thinking they're queens and divas and movie stars just for existing. It's bananas, man. But what I think is crazier than that is that they have no self-awareness. They don't realize that, hey, there's a big chasm between my life and the average guy's life, and I got it really good, right? The average woman doesn't think this. She's just like so solipsistic and wrapped up in her own ego that she demands and expects things to be better and expects men to bend over backwards to satisfy her soulish demands, right? Whatever little whim, to satiate her whims, whatever she wants, right? Bananas, man. Bananas, this world that we live in. And this is why men are committing suicide in higher rates than women, much higher rates. This is why men are depressed in much higher rates than women. This is why men, what's that quote? The mass of men lead lives of quiet desperation. I don't know who said that. I forgot who said that, but like Henry Ford or something. Probably not Henry Ford, but I don't think Henry Ford was a very good man. But anyway, the mass of men lead lives of quiet desperation. That's very true, man. Most guys are just, and not only that, like, we're expected to provide. A woman, all she's got to do is find a provider. That's her main prerogative. Find a provider. And yes, many women are in the workforce. Yes, many women work. I'm not sure the exact percentage, but she doesn't have to. In fact, guys would prefer. A lot of men would prefer if she doesn't. The world would be a lot better if they didn't. But anyway, that's another story. The economy would be a lot better if they didn't, but that's another story. She doesn't have to. It's not forced upon her. So men have all these demands if they want to mate, if they want quote unquote love. And this is why I say it's animalistic. That's animalistic. That's not true love. That's not romantic love. That's an exchange of resources. That's transactional love. Oh, you check all these boxes? Okay, you can get my pussy. Oh, you check all these boxes? Okay, you can get my intimacy. You check all these boxes? Okay, you can get my womb. You can get my hand in marriage. You check all these boxes. Make a certain amount of money. Be a certain height. Be good looking. Be this. Drive this kind of car. Do this. It's like guys don't get anything for free when it comes to that. And so you look at it from the perspective of from a man who thinks, why should I even try? Genetically I was not born gifted. Genetically I didn't win the lottery genetically. So why should I even try? What's out there for me besides highly used goods, overweight women who are ugly, and yes, it's weird that you gotta maybe lower your standards. Maybe you're not going to get a supermodel looks girlfriend, but you got to get in where you fit in. You got to maybe date someone at your level. I don't know, but the average woman, her class, the average guy, it's like, say a 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10 guy, his options are maybe 2 out of 10 women. Whereas a woman who's like a 5 or 6 out of 10, her options are all the way up to a 7 or 8 out of 10 for a man. It's not the same. There's an imbalance. Not the same at all. And they always, and when you have discussions with them, when you have debates with women, they're always trying to equalize things. Well, men do it too. Men are doing this, so why can't I do this? And they're always, they always, that's a tactic. They're always trying to equalize things because then they have an out. Then they've got an excuse. Well, men do it. It's the same for men. No, it's not. It's not the same for men. It's not the same thing. In fact, it's much worse for men. Much harder. Much more burden. Much more burdensome and wearisome. Much more depressing. Much more lonely. Men don't have anything to fall back on. Women can fall back on everything. The world bends. The world stops if anything goes wrong with them. The world just steps over a man if anything in his life goes wrong, for the most part. I'm not saying there's not help out there. I'm not saying there's not good people out there. I'm not saying there's not hope, right? Like this says, hope. I'm not saying there's not hope for men. There is. And I don't want to discourage anyone. It's just that the reality, particularly in the context of dating, particularly in the context of the sexual market, particularly in the context of the marriage market, it's very, very, very difficult for men. Very, very, very bleak for most men, unfortunately. And I think that's something that we all need to take into account, consider, think about. Maybe there's a way to fix it. I don't know. There's different solutions, that I probably shouldn't get into, but at least we could have some empathy and understanding for what these guys go through. But I just want to make that quick little video, talk about that. Hope y'all are having a good holiday season. Hope you guys are staying warm, staying safe, pursuing the path of righteousness, pursuing God, enjoying things in your life as much as you can, trying to stay happy, trying to stay motivated, and just in general have peace in your life. I wish all that upon everybody who's listening. I do appreciate you guys listening. It's been Jay Lee, Northwest Podcast. Peace.